welcome to the So Much More podcast, where we talk all things strong bodies and minds, nourished spirits, and healthy relationships. I'm your host, Elena Bell, and welcome to episode 4, and happy Mother's Day. This will go out on Saturday, the day before Mother's Day, but you're a mother every day, so anytime you're seeing this, happy Mother's Day. Today's topic is actually going to be kind of a heavy hitter, kind of a hot topic, a hot take. All over social media is all kinds of things about Mother's Day and about being a mother in general, and you'd be surprised. A lot of them are not positive. A lot of them are pretty freaking negative. And that really stirs my pot, because as a mommy of 6, I think having children is such a blessing. And it's just not what you would expect from mothers. It's kind of low-key disappointing, actually. Although I understand some parts, the tone of motherhood is really not very positive at all. And so as Mother's Day is approaching, it's kind of like the idea is that Mother's Day is the day off. That Mother's Day is a day where we should be able to take off from being parents and have a day fully and wholly centered around us, and should be appreciated and loved, and just the ground we walk on should be worshipped because these dang kids. And I don't really vibe with that. I really don't like that at all. I do think that as mothers, for Mother's Days, we should be appreciated and loved and cared for. I think that on any day. But I don't think that, and I also even understand Mother's Day being a day where people go over and beyond to appreciate you. Because mothering is hard. Mothering can be really hard, especially the more children you have, especially, depending on how much you already have on your plate. Being a mom can be, hard. Hard's not bad, but hard. And it can burn you out, honestly. It can cause burnout when your schedule or your structure is not set up in a way that benefits the household or benefits you. And so I understand. But I think that as a culture, we've really set the tone of motherhood as a damned thing, like a nuisance to us. We've kind of set the tone of motherhood as it's hard, it's the trenches, it holds us back, it's rough, it's not fun, and a lot of times around being a mom, there's a lot of regret in the tone of mothers' voices, a lot of poor me for how hard I have to work being a mother. Yes, I love my kid, but this is bad, ultimately. And I really don't think that should be the tone of motherhood at all. I really don't understand, and don't get me wrong, don't hear something I'm not saying, but I really don't understand the idea that being a mother is just the only thing that's so hard, or that it's just like way harder than absolutely anything else. I think, hot take or strong opinion, I think that anything that you're striving for, anything that you're looking to do and be good at is hard. I think being an entrepreneur is extremely hard, especially if you're trying to entrepreneur, I don't know if that's a word, but especially if you're trying to be an entrepreneur at a high level. I think being a good wife and a good husband is really hard. I think that if you're looking to get, a high level of education, that's really hard. I think if you're opening a business, that's really hard. I don't think that motherhood is necessarily set apart in a level of hardness. I think it's really hard because you want to be great at it, because it's not really hard for the mothers who don't want to be great at it. It's really hard, or the opposite, or it's really hard, just like losing weight is really hard, and it's really hard like getting a good diet is really hard. It's also can be really hard because you are not putting your all into it, and therefore you're not receiving really anything out of it. But it's just like anything to me that's hard, and it's different, but it's the same, in my hot take opinion. I think there are a lot of reasons that I find that such a negative mindset to have. One, because I think it tells a lot about where we are on our day-to-day. if we are just kind of like a job or work, if we are constantly looking forward to the weekend, it tells us a lot about how we feel about our job. If we as parents or as mothers are looking so much to, oh, I just need this break, oh, I can't wait till Mother's Day so that I can take, time off, it really says a lot about how your relationship with parenting is going. Because being a parent doesn't have to be something that you want such a break from. Being a mom doesn't have to be something that you can't wait till you can take a second and get away from it. Burnout is definitely a real thing. I'm not saying burnout's not real or that people are necessarily bad because they're experiencing burnout and are heavily looking forward to something like a Mother's Day to take a break. But I think that it's a symptom. I think that if we're having burnout, it tells us of a much larger problem and something as far as how your day-to-day is going. If how your day-to-day is going is causing so much chaos and so much disturbance and so much it's so disruptive to your system, it's a signal that something about your day-to-day needs to be changed. When I know for me personally, when I have less structure in my home, I have more frequent burnout. When I'm less intentional about what's going on in my home, I have more burnout. When I am not having a positive mindset about my home or my children, I have more burnout. I think there's a lot of ways that we can prevent burnout so that way we don't have to look forward to a holiday or something like Mother's Day or a break or a girls' night out or something like that. Because I don't think motherhood, like I said, has to be a damned thing. I think that it can be a beautiful blessing. I think we don't always know how, or sometimes we are forgetting to think of it as a positive. Or the second reason I think that having this mindset about Mother's Day is not appropriate is because you have littles watching you. And if you, for example, if every day on your husband's birthday, or if they're on Father's Day, or on a day dedicated to your husband, he was like, oh, this is so rough, I just need to get out, I just need to get away from my wife because she's such a fill in the blank, fill in whatever you're saying about your kids, have your husband say it about you, you would probably feel horrible. You'd probably feel really bad about how your husband was talking about you or feeling about you. And yet that's how we often talk about our children. Like there's such a burden, as if there's such a burden that we need a break from them and we need time off and time away. And that really sets the tone of how we deeply feel about them, and they can pick that up. And it also sets a tone of what they should think about having children in the future. And I know that although we can experience burnout, we love our children. And we want grandchildren and we want our children to want children. But when it's those deep subconscious things that we put into their mind that really sets the tone. It's like that saying, don't worry that your children will listen to what you say, worry that they watch what you do. And so if what you're doing is expressing how much you need a break from them and how much Mother's Day is this day where you should be able to get out, sleep all day, have a day solely focused around you, dad needs to take the kids and you just need a breath away from them, what you're explaining to them is that they're troublesome for you and that you have to take a break. And again, if somebody were to speak about you in that way, it would be hurtful. So I don't really fancy talking about my children that way. I think it's important for us to remember the gift that our children are, a gift that it is to be a parent, a gift that it is to be a mom, because it's such a gift, it's such a blessing. There is so much that we learn through being a mom. There's so much that we learn through being a parent. There's an intangible gift of having a child. I know moms know what I'm talking about, an overwhelming love that you have for your children that you can't get anywhere else. And I know we're burdened by how much they need, by how much they want, by how much they touch, by how much they feel, by how much we have to disrupt what goes on in our mind and our lives in order to care for them, because it is a lot. But we have to remember that this is our chance. Children are our chance to show the love of God, because if God was human, I imagine he would feel the same way. I mean, if he was not God and always human, I imagine that he would feel the same way about us. I mean, we're naggy and complaining and whiny and don't listen and need, and yet he loves us through it all. And there's never a second that God would ask for a break from you. God is there for you all the time. There's not a God's day where he just gets to take a rest. I know people are going to be like, he took rest on the 7th day. He didn't take that rest from you. He took that rest from creating. It's not like on the 7th day he took a rest from humans and like completely went deaf, not listen to us. God is there for us all the time, constantly, 24/7. And that's the life of bearing the cross. That is the life of servitude. That is the life of dying to yourself and living for others and living for Jesus ultimately. And so yes, being a parent is rough. Being a parent is not always the easiest, but to set this tone of, oh, we need a break because these kids are so dang hard, it's not even the way that God loves you. Just because the world makes it normal doesn't mean that it is. Just because even if all the mothers said, oh, we hate being a mom and we deserve time off and days off, doesn't mean that that's true. A child is solely dependent on you all the time, and that's a blessing. That is a gift. It is a gift to be able to give yourself to somebody in that way. It is a gift to get to imitate Christ in that way. To be able to imitate the most holy God by living a sacrificial life for somebody who is 100% dependent on you is a gift. What a better way to rid yourself of your flesh and die to your flesh and live for God than to have somebody who's 100% needing you. Having a mindset about that's just such a horrible thing shows our character and shows our sinful nature. Which is a great thing also, because that gives you the opportunity to rewrite how you think about your children and rewrite how you think about being a mother. If you're experiencing burnout and you're experiencing constant needs for filling your cup or constant needs for taking a break, seek out how to fix that. There are ways to fix that. Get a better schedule. Get more boundaries. Get more in your prayer life. There's just so many things that you can do in order to prevent that in your day-to-day life than to just constantly stay in that place where you are in burnout. Your kids deserve you being at your fullest, not in a place of burnout, which takes intention to not be there. I'm not by any means saying don't take a breath. I'm not by any means saying don't be appreciated. And I'm not by any means saying that you need to be happy 24/7 with your circumstance as a parent. But what I am saying is we have to watch how we speak about things, and we have to watch how we feel about things in our heart. What happens in our mind directs our heart, and what happens in our heart directs our mind. And so if we allow for that negative thought process to flow into our mind, it begins to corrupt our heart, and a rotten heart will corrupt our life. I think that Mother's Day has turned into a day not of love and appreciation, but has turned into a day where we excuse selfishness. I think a lot of holidays have turned into that, but I think for this specific holiday, it's turned into an excuse to have a me day, to have everything should be centered around me. I need the break. I need to take time off. I can't believe you didn't do that for me. I can't believe you didn't wash it. Oh my God, I can't believe this isn't done. And that's not Christ-like. That's not God-like. It is important that every day be lived for God. Every single day. Mother's Day is a perfect opportunity to show Christ that lives in you, and to show your appreciation for the gifts God has given you, and to show appreciation for what you have, and to not make it a day where everything has to go the way that you plan, the way that you want, and for your expectations. I hope, Mama, that you do get breakfast in bed, and I hope that for Mother's Day you do get to go get your nails done, or you get to go get a massage, or that the day revolves around you. But I pray more that your heart is in the right place when it happens. I pray more that it is a gift and a surprise to you than an expectation from you. And I pray that the people around you can feel Christ radiating through you by your gratefulness and your thankfulness of being a mother, versus people feel the sin radiating from you and how much you're demanding a day go a certain way and being let down when it doesn't, like a toddler, because that's ultimately how toddlers act. If you're a mom out there, remember that you had kids to be a mother, not just to have kids. And my note or my thought to everyone out there who doesn't have kids yet: have kids when you're ready to be a mother, not just to have children as a trophy or just to say that you had kids, because it is an everyday responsibility. It is an all the time responsibility. That is hard, but hard does not equal bad. That is time consuming. That is selfless, but it's a beautiful and wonderful thing. Tired nights are a beautiful and wonderful thing. Messy houses, children constantly needing you, constantly being depended on is a blessing. It is an opportunity to become more Christ-like. It is an opportunity for sanctification. It is an opportunity to be washed white. If you are in a place where you constantly need a break from having children, reevaluate some things. They deserve a mom who is fully present and fully enjoying having her children. If you're in a place where you feel like you're not appreciated throughout the year and that's why you so badly need a day where you're appreciated, talk to your husband. Have a conversation with him. Implement things that maybe make you feel more appreciated throughout the day. You're gonna be needed a lot. Take breaths. Just like Christ, go up on the hill to pray. Take a moment. Lean on Christ in those times. But ultimately remember that your mindset is what shifts everything. Your mindset is what shifts how you view being a parent. And you are so loved. You are what makes the world go round, truly. I hope you have the best Mother's Day. I hope you feel so loved and appreciated, and I hope through that love and appreciation you spread love and appreciation. Happy Mother's Day, and remember that living is so much more than being alive. See you guys next week. Bye-bye.